Hello friends, welcome back to the lecture series. Today we'll be discussing on Porter's 5 forces of competition. As we know, every industry has a different set of customers with different expectations, and hence the product or services offered by those companies are also different from industry to industry. Therefore, the strategic decisions and game plans will be also different from industry to industry. Also, every industry is at a different stage of industry life cycle. Hence, the factors present in any industry will affect the level of competition differently in each industry, making that industry either favorable or unfavorable for investment decisions. Therefore, any new company who is wanting to enter the industry or existing companies before making investing decisions would like to do industry environment analysis to understand whether the industry is having opportunities in the form of growth, return on investment, profitability, etc., or threats by imposing risk to their investment. Here the strategic tool used is the Porter's 5 forces of competition model, which analyzes the 5 forces that affects the level of competition and thus making that industry attractive or unattractive for investment. Porter's 5 forces tool is used to do industry environment analysis. Let us understand it with suitable example. Porter's 5 forces of competition model is used for analysis of industry related factor which affects the level of competition. There are various factors that are present in every industry, which are the competitors, customers, suppliers, substitute products, and the probable new company or the new competitor which is wanting to enter into that industry. All these factors will affect the level of competition, and hence to analyze that industry, Porter's 5 forces model is used by existing companies as well as any new company who is wanting to enter in that industry to understand what is the level of competition. If the level of competition is low, the industry is attractive. That means the industry conditions are favorable for strategic investment and having growth and profitability opportunities for the organization. Based on that, the organizations can decide to enter or not to enter, that is whether to invest or not to invest in that industry. As we said earlier, the 5 factors identified by Michael Porter affects the level of competition in any industry. When the level of competition is low or low to medium, the industry is said to be attractive, favorable for investment to the existing organization, as it is full of opportunities for growth and profitability. And when the competition level is medium to high, the industries are said to be unattractive. Any business organization will always look for opportunities in industry which will help the organizations to invest more and maximize their earning and profitability. That is, in the attractive industry, sales growth, demand from the customer, profitability and return on investment will be high. The industry is attractive when the industry is on the growth phase of industry life cycle and the risk to investment is low. The bargaining power of customer and the bargaining power of suppliers are also low and manageable by the existing companies. But the rising threat of substitute product may result in increasing level of competition from low to medium. In this condition, the existing companies can invest on differentiation strategy so as to maintain demand for their products, and thus we can say when the competition level is low to medium, it is a favorable industry because it provides more opportunities for investment and growth to the business organizations. If we look at the characteristics of unattractive industry, the demand conditions or growth is negative, that is, there will be low return on investment which is also affecting the profitability, and there will be also a high risk to the investment. The threat of new entrant will be low because the demand condition is going down, but the threat of substitute product will be high, resulting into high bargaining power of customers and suppliers. In such conditions, the companies can go for low cost advantage, that is low price strategies to manage competition and earning. Thus, the unattractive industry is unfavorable for investment, that is, produces threats to the existing companies. Michael Porter have suggested Porter's 5 forces of competition along with value chain analysis and competitive strategies as the strategic tools for business organizations to manage in the competitive environment by means of developing competitive advantage. Like that of value chain, which starts with the suppliers of material and ends at the customers, here in Porter's 5 forces of competition model, on the vertical line there is a bargaining power of suppliers and bargaining power of the customers. On the horizontal line there is threat of substitute products and threat of new entrant, and all these 4 factors will result into intensity of the competition, that is rise in the internal rivalry, if they are creating unfavorable environment and vice versa. Thus, the level of competition in the industry can provide opportunities and threats to the business organization, based on which the organizations can strategically decide to invest or not to invest in that specific industry. Based on which the organizations can strategically decide to invest or not to invest in a specific industry. Let us understand what is bargaining power of supplier. As we know that the suppliers of materials and other inputs which are at the beginning of value chain, on whose supply the products are produced and the profitability of the organization is dependent. The suppliers can bargain with the organization for higher prices of material, lower quantities to supply, advanced payment for the supplies, etc. The bargaining power of supplier is high when the suppliers are few in number and buyers are in large number, and if the buyers buy in limited quantities which is of no importance to the suppliers. The bargaining power of supplier is also high when the supplier's products are unique and not easily available in the market. Sometimes the suppliers are not critically dependent on the earnings of product and services supplied to the buyers, as they may have their other businesses from where they are earning more. In most industries, the suppliers can also have a strong association which will increase their bargaining power. All this makes the industries unfavorable for investment, and risk to the investment will be also high. Now let us understand, if there is a high bargaining power of supplier, how can we manage the bargaining power of supplier? To lower the bargaining power of supplier, there could be some action plans that the organization should work on to manage their earnings. For managing suppliers' bargaining power, companies can go for backward integration. They can also develop a long-term contractual relationships for uninterrupted supplies. Companies can also invest in suppliers' development, which will enhance their productivity and ultimately benefiting to the business organization. Sometimes buying in bulk quantities, which creates a high value to the suppliers, and it is also helping to maintain a buffer inventories to the business organizations to manage the emergencies. Companies can also go for group buying along with other companies, which will be the bulk buying and benefits both suppliers as well as the buying companies. Companies can also look for alternatives to the supplies from local or the global market, so that dependency on the suppliers can be lowered, and thus it will help organizations to lower the bargaining power of suppliers. Let us understand what is bargaining power of customer. Since every industry and the companies operating in those industries target to the same set of customer by producing closely substitutable products, which allows the customers to choose from the existing alternative products, which raises the customer expectation, resulting in increasing customer bargaining power. The customers will always bargain for superior quality, low prices and availability of the products at their convenient place. The bargaining power of customers will be high when the potential customers are less in numbers, and when the customers have options of more substitute products in the market with less difference in the product performance, or when the switching cost from one product to other product is low. For example, in case of telecom sector, but affects the business organizations at greater extent by affecting to their profitability. All these factors will make the industries unfavorable for investment. Now let us understand how to manage the customer bargaining power. Companies can invest in increasing product differentiation so that customers will find more value in the offered product and hence their bargaining power can be lowered. Companies can also invest in enhancing product or service switching cost so that they can be retained by the companies on their product and service for longer period of time. Companies should always try to differentiate on quality and service of their offerings and not merely on the price, which can eliminate the threat of substitute product as well as the bargaining power of the customer can be lowered. The strategies such as low cost advantage or differentiation can be also applied here by the companies to manage with the substitute product so as to lower the bargaining power of customers. Now let us understand what is threat of substitute product. The substitute products are the alternative products which have similar functionality or value proposition the customers are looking for. Like in soft drink industry, customers can buy Thumbs Up, Pepsi, Coke, Sprite, Mirinda, 7-Up, etc. Even indirect substitutes like plain soda or even a water bottle if the purpose is just to kill the thirst. Therefore, the threat of substitute products will be always high when more alternative substitute products are available in the market and if the prices of substitute products are lower and quality and performance of the substitute products are either equal or little or greater than the original products and the switching cost from one product to other product is low like in case of FMCG, confectionery items, etc. the industry is unfavorable as it will increase the threat to sales and profitability of the existing organizations. How to manage the threat of substitute product? So to manage the threat of substitute product, companies should focus on more value creation by improvising product quality, lowering the prices of their product or by means of enhancing the after sales services. Companies can also create exclusive agreement with the distributors and retailers to protect products being substituted. Companies can also invest in providing superior customer experiences and customer retention strategies, thus creating brand loyalty through product with strong branding and trademarks. Companies can also invest on leveraging the technology and digital transformation for creating more product differentiation to manage with the threat of substitute products. Now let us understand what is the threat of new entrant. When the industry is highly growing, then there are chances that a new entry or a new company can enter in that industry, which produces threat to the existing companies. The threat will be because any new entrant company when enters in any industry will take away the existing company's customers, sales, market share as well as profits by means of bringing new technology, better products and probably at the lower prices. What Reliance Jio did when they entered in the India's telecommunication industry is the best example we can mention here. The threat of new entrant will be high when the industry is at the growth stage and when the industry is more profitable, when the market size is big because there are huge number of customers whose needs are still unmet. The threat of new entrant will be more when the advanced technologies are available at comparatively cheaper cost, which can be used for product differentiation and the customers and the suppliers bargaining power is low. Thus, when the threat of new entrant is more, the industry becomes more and more unfavorable for the investment. Now let us understand how to manage the threat of new entrant. Since any new entrant which enters in any industry will like to attract existing companies' customer either by giving superior products or by selling the products at lower prices. So the existing companies can lower the risk to their profitability due to the new entrant can be achieved by the following ways. Firstly, by means of making the industry highly capital intensive on technology, logistics and customer acquisition like in online retailing or in case of telecommunication or automobile sector, for which it requires massive investment in infrastructure and along with regulatory compliances. We can have example of Flipkart and Amazon India here. While the e-commerce industry in India has significant growth potential, still new entrants face significant barriers due to the dominance of giants like Amazon India and Flipkart. They control supply chain, have vast customer base and provide deep discounts, making it hard for the new players to manage it. The entry barrier can also be created by means of FDI or by means of the regulatory environmental factors which can be created with the help of government or government policies. Secondly, by means of retaliation strategy. A retaliation strategy refers to actions taken by a company to respond aggressively to a competitor's move to protect its market share, profitability and competitive position. Here, the existing companies who have already achieved economies of scale can lower prices of their products very low, which the competitors cannot match, and cannot sell their products below that price to the customer. Thus, the new company cannot manage their ROIs and cannot survive, and may it require the company to withdraw from the market. After withdrawal of that new company, the old existing companies can get back to their original prices. Here we can discuss the example of Hindustan Unilever and Procter & Gamble. In the fast-moving consumer goods sector, companies frequently retaliate through aggressive promotional campaigns and product launches. For example, when P&G introduced its Tide detergent in India at a lower price, HUL retaliated by lowering the prices of its popular Surf Excel brand while launching smaller, affordable packs aimed at price-sensitive consumers. Additionally, HUL aggressively marketed its product highlighting quality and performance to counter P&G's pricing strategy. The outcome of this retaliation strategy is the rivalry between HUL and P&G forced both the companies to focus on innovation, promotional offers and expanding product ranges to retain the market share. Now let us understand the last important component of Porter's 5 forces of competition model, that is the internal rivalry. It is the rivalry or competition level among the existing companies operating in any industry due to the 4 factors as discussed above, resulting in competition. Internal rivalry is high when the industry is consolidated, that is, very few companies are having large market share and other companies are having very small market share. The internal rivalry is more when more competitors are competing, resulting in price war or differentiation through product or services affecting to their profitability. Declining demand is when the customers might have got better alternatives to the existing product and hence the sales and profit starts declining. Many times existing companies, though wanting to exit out of the industry due to high competition, but due to heavy investment which creates an economic barrier, or due to strategic reason like the output of one industry is the input for the other industry where they are present, or sometimes when the customers have a brand association between the two industries, or it can be even due to emotional barriers like the company is founded by the ancestors, their vision, etc., and is forcing not to exit out of the industry, resulting into rise of internal rivalry. And the intensity of the rivalry is more when the industry is on the maturity or closely declining stage. Now let us understand how to manage the internal rivalry. Since internal rivalry is affecting the strategic position, earning as well as producing risk to the investment, it is important for the organizations to manage the internal rivalry. Internal rivalry can be lowered by the existing companies either by means of integration or merger strategies, so that the competition can be lowered. For example, Vodafone and Idea in Indian telecom sector, or by means of creating more product differentiation like iPhones by Apple, or Johnson & Johnson baby product, Mahindra's Thar, etc. Or by competing on factors beyond price such as loyalty, customer value, for example Tata Group of companies and their products, by developing economies of scale and thus lowering the product prices without affecting the profitability like DMart, or by improving the supply chain relationship for better competitive advantage like what is done by Flipkart and Amazon India. Companies can also focus on sustainability and social responsibilities like Reliance Industries, who invest a good proportion of their profits in social cause, tree plantation for conservation of soil, etc. Here we can discuss the same example from Indian online retail market where the giants like Flipkart and Amazon India are operating. When we look at the Indian e-commerce market, it shows rivalry with Amazon India and Flipkart dominating the market space. The competition is intense, especially during the festive sales like Diwali, where deep discounts and marketing campaigns are used to gain the market share by both the companies. Here we can see the Flipkart and Amazon India continually engage in price wars and offer exclusive products and delivery services to capture customers' loyalty, making the rivalry even more fierce. As you know that the strategic decisions making, that is the formulation of the strategies and implementation of the strategies, requires allocation of the resources including financial resources with the objectives of maximizing ROIs and profitability. If the Porter's 5 forces model analyzes the industry and finds as the industry is attractive and having opportunities for the growth, profitability, expansion, etc., then the strategic decisions of investment will result into accomplishment of the strategic intent. But if the analysis outcome suggests that threats are present in the industry, which means there is a risk to the investment and less or no profitability to the business organization, and hence the organizations may not take any strategic decisions to invest into that industry. This is how Porter's 5 forces tool is useful to business organizations for taking strategic decisions. In the upcoming video, we will be discussing pestle analysis and ETOP model. So stay connected. Thank you.